Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Journey to Become a Head Coach. As always, I am your host, Jeff Freeman. Today we're going to talk about safety or defensive back blitzes. And again, I'm a big proponent of being able to blitz anywhere, from any time, from any position. I believe in the risk-reward portion of it, of being able to blitz from anywhere on the field and being able to cover from behind. Because again, if everyone knows that all you're going to blitz is these four guys, then schematically, offensively, I can scheme for that and understand that, okay, these plays are going to work because they only blitz these four. I never have to worry about the safeties. Plus, as an offensive-minded coach, what do most people don't bring? A lot of people don't bring these four players. Now, I'm drawing this out of a 3-4 because I enjoy the 3-4. Later on, I can also show you a little bit of how it would look out of a 4-3, which in all reality, one of these two individuals is just on the line. It's all that really changes as far as alignment is concerned. Now, obviously, you have some tricks and trades when you do that. Now you've lost a guy that you can put in coverage. So now that kind of eliminates certain coverages and certain things you can do when you blitz individuals. Now, as far as single safety blitzes, there's overload and then there's man blitzes. So whenever I go up against a team or I see a team that's going to run a lot of slide protection, then I'm going to want to see which way do they tend to slide. Are they a slide protection team or they like to slide to the field? If that's the case, then I'm going to bring a lot of my pressure off the boundary side. If they like to slide to the boundary, I'm going to kind of see what their tendency is with their slide. But when it comes to slide protection, I want to bring an overload blitz from an edge. When it's a man style, if they're going to man up and these two guys are going to be responsible for these two, or if they just try to do outside backer and it's these five are responsible for these five, then I'm going to play games where I bring stuff up the middle. And I'm going to attack the A gap and B gaps. Because if these five are accountable for these five, they're not going to account for any of these two or these two. Same thing when it comes to slide protection. If they're a slide protection team, again, they're going to account for a certain number of individuals inside the box. They're not going to account for my safeties and my corners. That's just not what they're going to do. So when I bring a single safety blitz, you know, easy way to do it is cover 3. I love putting cover 3 behind it when I'm bringing a single safety blitz. And again, I will just walk them up like it's normal cover 3. So if it's a slide protection team, again, they're looking for this guy. We're going to roll down like we normally do. So we'd roll down out of that position. And if they're going to slide to the field, obviously then that means, you know, gap, 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 gap. And he's going to check inside to out. Now, what I'd end up doing, obviously, is I would bring this will backer as well. If I want to do an overload blitz, but if I just want to bring a single safety, he's going to check inside. He's going to check outside. That safety will sit and then delay and come hard off the edge. I still have my cover 3, still have my cover 3 flat, cover 3 in the middle, cover 3 deep, flat, and then we still have my hook and my hook. So everything is still taken care of in that regard, and I'm bringing something that nobody's really accounting for, because who's he looking for? He's looking for the will and the bandit. Well, if those two guys don't come, he's going to think he can take off. And if we time this right, if he's here by the time the snap of the ball hits, he's checking the will. By the time he looks for that other backer, we should be in the backfield already. And I ran this a couple times. I've ran it at the JV level and the varsity level, and it works really well when it comes down to timing. So you have to have a very fast, athletic, free safety. And I say fast because obviously we would prefer to be fast. You can get away with it with a slower free safety that has the ability to get great timing. So it's not an easy blitz, but at the same time, bringing a single safety blitz is something that, again, these guys won't account for. And it's the same thing if it's man coverage, or if they, sorry, not man coverage, if it's a man blocking scheme. Let's just again say it's these 5 are accounting for these 5. Again, I do the same thing. He's going to walk up, except now, instead of coming off the edge, we'll probably play a stunt game with these two, where they'll go out, he'll come to this side, and I'll bring the free safety through the B gap. So in that way, bringing him through a B gap, could bring him through an A gap if I wanted. It all kind of depends what kind I want to do and how good these guards are. Again, they're not going to account for a free safety. It looks like the quarterback's going to see, oh, they're rotating down into cover 3. He's going to go to the flat. Nope, he's coming through the gap. And again, they're not going to account for that. That ace back's not going to account for it, and the line aren't going to account for it. They're not going to see that coming. So it's a really good blitz if you can get to that degree where your safeties understand timing is everything, and if you know if they're going to be a man protection team or a slide protection team. So again, if it's slide, we want to overload. Now, if you want to bring overload blitzes, again, now you're going to kind of get into more man-free or, you know, cover 1 and cover 0 type stuff. So again, if they're a slide protection team, now you really have the advantage because you can do the same thing. If it's slide protection and you know which way they're going, you can bring this will backer through the B gap or A gap, depending on which way you want to go. Same kind of look. Go, and you can either run man, free, so you can run a cover 1. You can still get away with a little bit of cover 3, just though you're going to be a little weak in the middle / one of the hooks. That's going to be kind of really where you're vulnerable, because your mic backer now has a lot more area to cover. So understand you can still run cover 3, just understand that you are going to be really weak on this hook to curl area. So if they have any kind of, you know, seam or anything like that, that's going to be really difficult for you to cover and take care of and help out, because you're not going to have any will backer help. So for me, if I'm bringing an overload blitz like this, I will just run cover 1 and just tell, hey, you guys are manned up. But again, if it's run correctly, that ace back is going to be taking on that will and that free safety. If they time it right, again, he's thinking cover 3, I should be looking for the bandit. That bandit takes off or takes on this guy man to man. He's not going to realize that free safety's coming off the edge. Should be a free hit every time. So again, it takes timing, disguising, making it look like cover 3, coming off the edge, and that's slide protection. And that doesn't matter if it's going to the field or the boundary. Now again, like I said, I'd love to bring it from the boundary. It's a shorter field for them to run, versus if it's on this side, you know, you're coming from a wider side of the field. Boundary's a little bit better, especially when we get into the corner blitzes and things like that. So again, if you want to bring overload, it's got to look like cover 3. So it's just got to look that way. Now again, playing games, that's an overload style of blitz. When bringing a single safety and a linebacker, say you're like, well, I want to bring both safeties. Fine, bring both safeties. Now what I like to do against that, obviously when you're bringing both safeties, you're going to be in 0. That's just the way it's going to work. You're going to be in 0, whether it's slide or man. So now, again, what we'll do is we'll walk these guys up. He'll pretend it's cover 3. So the one way I like to do this, I like to bring one safety through the A or B gap, one safety off the edge to either side. So again, if they're a slide protection team and they're going to go to the field, and let's just say this is the boundary, okay, that's great. Then what's going to happen is he's going to kind of cheat towards the middle, right behind. He's going to cheat like it's cover 3. And I might tell him to line up there so the quarterback thinks he's in the middle of the field, like it's going to be cover 3 or cover 1. And then as he gets ready for his cadence, cheat, go right through A or B, depending on what the call is. And same thing, come hard off the edge. No one's going to account for that. We're manned up. These guys are responsible for the ace. Wherever the ace goes, if ace comes off, Mike's got quarterback. If for some reason the A comes out in a swing to that side, Mike's got the running back, Will's got the quarterback. So again, overloading one side, bringing both safeties, playing games, attacking the slide protection, and bringing an overload from the weak side. Again, no one's going to account for that, because what is the ace back looking for? He's looking for the will. He sees the will doesn't come, he sees the bandit doesn't come, he's either going to take off or he'll sit, which is fine. If he ends up picking up the inside free safety, outside's free. If for some reason he's a little late, fine, all power to him. He attacks the outside safety, inside safety. Again, this guy's not looking for that. And depending on how we play games with our up front, we have him pinch, we can have him pinch and take that center with him and bring him through this A gap if we want. Again, it all depends on what these guys like to do. Now, against man, a man style protection team, which again, see a little bit. A lot of teams have gone to a combo of man and slide. That's what a lot of teams have gone to, because it just helps where you slide one side and then man protect the other side. So a lot of teams will slide from center over to the field, and these 3 will be manned up. So in any case, again, it'd be a 0 coverage, and we could still play that game. If these guys are going to man up backside, these two are going to, you know, man backside, so he'll be here. And let's just say he takes a step down hard inside, and the rest of these 3 are slide protection. fine, all power to you, because what we'll end up doing is we'll bring him to the outside. Again, we'll walk him up, bring him through the B, walk him up, bring him through the A. Still very similar to an overload, but we're going to attack the man side because they're not going to account for that. He goes to the outside. He's going to drop down to the inside because, again, offensive linemen are taught don't get beat inside. He's going to see that. He's going to be looking for the will. He's not going to see the will. And then the ace back has got to make a decision. Obviously, he's got to attack first threat, which is going to leave him open more often than not. Again, cover 0 across the board whenever you bring double safeties. Again, if you have a really fast Mike linebacker, could try to do some cover 3-ish. Again, just understand you're going to be stretched with that Willie backer, because if he goes to cover 3 and say you got a really fast athletic Mike backer and he can drop to the middle and he can get there and there, just understand that this Will backer is going to be extremely stretched. You can do it, just understand that you better make sure that you're getting home very fast, because otherwise that Will backer, if they're running any kind of seams, you're going to be in trouble. So again, you can get away with it. I don't recommend it, but I have done it and gotten away with it because sometimes there are teams that don't attack the seams very often. And if they know you don't bring, if they haven't seen you bring 2 safeties, you can call it once, especially in a time crunch. It works well at the JV level, to be brutally honest. I have not run that style of blitz and dropped the Mike backer against the varsity. I have hesitancy to do it because I believe that they will attack the seams. Varsities will attack the seams a lot more than what I saw at the JV level at that point where I was. So again, I was able to get away with it a couple times. I wouldn't recommend it, but I was able to get away with it because we had a nice, decent, fast middle linebacker that could get to the middle of the field. And we had an athletic Willie that I could trust. And the teams we were playing didn't necessarily send seams in the slots very often. So I felt we could get away with it, and we did. Against spread, again, something like this, seams for verts is something every spread team has. I would not recommend dropping the Mike backer and hoping your will can stop one of the seams. Just my little thought on that. All right. Next little piece, obviously, you know, again, I don't see this very often, and I don't understand why. I've done it. I've enjoyed it. I've had success with it, depending on the front. Again, bringing a corner, and again, depending on how you want to play it, you can play it where, again, safety comes down to the flat, safety gets over to the third, still has the flat, however you want to tinker with it. So, obviously, you want to run it more when you have a trips look, or at least when the offense has, you know, 3 receivers, a 3-by-1 set. So then that way, again, it gives your corner a little bit more flexibility because now he's got to cut in front of somebody if there's something there. Or again, if they have a tight end into the boundary, you can get away with it. A little bit tricky, especially if they try to run any kind of out slant combo. So again, I like to run it when I know they're going to be in 3-by-1 and it's a boundary. Now I know everyone says, well, wait, hold on a second. Whenever they run 3-by-1, that's usually their best receiver. I understand that, which is perfectly fine, because if I know that that's their best receiver, I got 2 guys to help out with that best receiver. That's fine. And they're not going to assume ever that I'm going to bring that corner. Because they're big. No, they're not going to bring a corner against our best receiver. They're not going to do that. No, I will. So just understand that, again, it's got to come a little late. That's why I like to do it from the boundary, because you've got to let that quarterback think that that corner is sitting there, whether it's in man or whether it's in cover 3 or cover 2. So whatever we're doing, if we're bringing a Cobra blitz, this corner has to be fast and has to understand how to disguise and has to understand the time. Again, these blitzes are advanced blitzes. This is not going to be something that you just teach in a week. This is something that has to be installed in the spring. It has to be geared up upon through your program, because again, it takes time for them to understand how to disguise it, how to time it, what the cadence is. It takes a lot of coaching to get these DBs to understand how to blitz. They love it. Some of them love it. Not all of them do, and you got to find out which ones want to go hit. So again, the timing is key. Comes up, he starts his cadence, creep inside, and again, trying to split. That's why it's a nice boundary. If he can split the difference, and then come hard towards the outside edge of that shoulder, because we don't want the quarterback to get outside. Again, depending on how you want to play that, cover 3 sky, again, because I want the safety to get over the top. That's what I call it. And then again, same thing, you have your deep third here, flat, hook, hook. So again, you're covered. So that's kind of the nice thing about that. So again, nice little trick, nice little thing you can do Again, bringing a single safety. Now, obviously this, great against slide protection. You can use it against man protection. Corners, I don't know why corners aren't blitzed more often, because again, nobody accounts for the corner, especially against spread in a 3x1. If you have a corner that loves to hit, that's fast and athletic, send them. Let them have some fun. Let them get after it. Let them play around with it. Let them get going. So that's just kind of my thought process on that. So as we were talking about, again, having fun with the corners. Now I want to just bring up a little bit of double corner action. So we talked about bringing a single corner from the boundary side. Now obviously double corners, gonna have another little bit of issue and things like that. Again, whenever you're bringing two DBs, probably gonna want to get into more of a man style if you can. So bringing double corners from, you know, obviously again, depending on what the team runs, what the team likes to run. Obviously if you're gonna bring, you know, we call our corner blitz Cobra. It's easy, Cobra, and then you call double Cobra, something like that. So again, if you're gonna run any kind of double corner blitz, I like to do it from the middle of the field and the boundary. Again, I'll play games with it, kind of depending on what they like to do, whether it's slide or not. But obviously again, if it's spread, a little bit harder to do. When I'm running any kind of Cobra look, what we tend to switch is we'll tend to check it back down to the Sam, and we'll bring like a stud or a bandit with the corner. So like if we're going spread and I call double Cobra, if this guy is over here in trips, in a trips formation, then what we'll end up doing is bringing the Sam instead, and we'll slide him in, and we'll still bring this corner off the edge, and instead he'll slide down and come. Just because, again, having to come across a bunch of people. So double Cobra doesn't get used very often, to be brutally honest, just because in this day and age with a lot of people running doubles, trips, tray. So we really kind of stopped calling double Cobra just because it ends up being checked down into, you know, a stud or whatnot. So we're actually working on changing this to where we can bring, you know, a Sam in a corner or a bandit in a corner depending on what the formation is. But if, you know, it's an old school formation, it's a closed formation, and you got more of a true, you know, tight end, two-back kind of setup, and you've got more of that look where you actually have the ability to run this, then yeah, then you can run double Cobra, bring both guys off the edge, because again, you have the Sam on the tight end, you have Bandit for any kind of backer out there, your free safety gets over the top to play man, this Falcon gets over the top to play man, and again you have him accounting for the F back or H back, whatever that is, and then your Mike and Will can account for the ace quarterback. So again, nice little trickery to do, but double Cobra ends up changing a lot because again, once you get this guy split out a little bit wider, and now you have that look, turns more into now it's like, okay, well we don't want to bring him across because first of all they're going to see that coming from a far away, rather just have him start, creep, and go. So it ends up being a check down. The corner will end up checking him down, be like, hey, you got him. And then we end up checking it to where now it turns in more of a cover one kind of setup because now he'll take over here, he'll sit back and go that around. So again, once you get that spread look and that open look, we just kind of, it tends to change itself. All right, now something I've played with and works really well and has a lot of fun is when you bring a safety with a corner. Now you get to have lots of fun with these guys and play around a lot. So again, bringing two guys, automatically we're going to 1 or we're going to 0. So, you know, calf, fac, falcon, or free and corner. Again, depending on the slide protection, whatever it is, we'll play games with it. Again, like to run this against a trip set. I really do. It works out really well because again, yeah, you got these 3 receivers over here. We slide down, slide him over. Again, it looks like cover 3. All well is all good. You can play this in man. You can play this however you want. But again, what we'll end up doing is he'll kind of fade back, get over the top. We'll swing him in, And depending on what we want to do here, if they're sliding, if they're doing a full slide, then we'll have the corner come off the edge. We'll tell the F to sit, and we'll bring the falcon through, and then the corner off the edge there. Another little overload on that front. If it's more man protection, we might throw a little X in there. We might throw just a little fun thing where we try to play some games. We might slant him all the way across, move him to the outside. But in any case, we'll play some games with that, and we'll bring the free safety, say, through the A gap, put the F through the B, and we'll bring the free safety through the A and the corner off the edge. In any case, the corner is always coming off the edge. It's just a matter of where we want to send the free safety. And again, the cover 3, he's got to get to the flat on this. Still got, he's got a wide range to go, but we got flat, and he's got to worry about the hook. And you got cover 3, you got deep third, deep third. So some fun games to play with. We've done that from time to time. Again, I truly enjoy bringing defensive backs. It's something that nobody accounts for. Very few teams will account for safety blitzes. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, feel free to share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave some comments down below if you got questions. So thank you so very much. As always, be great, push limits, and hold the line. Thank you so much.